In the scorched wilderness of Pyro, survival is rare. Yet one humble creature has adapted perfectly to this volatile ecosystem. Locals know it as the Ox. A gentle herbivore at heart, the Pyro Ox spends its day roaming between outposts carrying precious goods across the harsh frontier. It's a creature of burden, calm, patient, and unbothered by the chaos around it. Unlike the predators that stalk these skies, the Pyro Ox has no meaningful defenses. No weapons, no armors, no ability to fight back. Instead, it survives through subtlety, remaining small, quiet, and unassuming. In a land ruled by hunters, the Pyro Ox relies on one instinct above all others: avoidance. For years, this behavior has allowed the Pyro Ox to thrive, slipping between threats while larger, louder creatures fall to the system's dangers. But even with all its adaptations, every creature has limitations, and sometimes even the most cautious ox cannot escape the predator's gaze. I'm Saxa Wine with SC Haulers, and let's get into this haul. Okay, so I promised you a video of my favorite CFP routes, and that's what we're going to get into today, is locations that are citizens for prosperity only and will make you a decent amount of profit. So we're going to try to stick to Pyro here and go from place to place, but we are in 4.4 now, and so a lot of things have changed. So in 4.3.2, you would have found a lot more profit out of the CFP locations than you would the Headhunter locations. But now it seems like the Headhunter profits are starting to go through the roof compared to the CFP profits. So majority of these are going to start on Bloom, and 2 of them at least are going to start on Shepard's Rest. The first one, which resulted in my untimely demise there previously, is Pitambu. And you're basically just, hauling fruit across the verse. So the way I like to think about Shepard's Rest is it's a farming location, right? And so everything that's going to come out of here is going to be like fruit or fresh food or something along those lines. So that's what Shepard's Rest is, and that's what CFP is doing, is providing food to different locations across the verse and stuff. So it really fits well, like lore-wise. So the first thing we're doing is picking up Pitambu, and then we're going to go and sell it at Sacren's plot on Pyro IV. So when approaching Sacren's plot, it is very important to check your surroundings. And the reason for this is because Sacren's plot is the only place that sells Partilium. And even though it is like just gone through the ground, not profitable, people still go and buy it. And pirates love to get the stuff because if they're able to get their hands on it, they can make an easy profit. Hundreds of thousands, if not more. So make sure you're scanning if you see any active ships or ships that are like way far out for some reason. Like this Freelancer or Starlancer is dead. Now this Taurus right here, or this Constellation, whichever one, it seems like it's over at a freight elevator, so it was probably a cargo hauler. But there are a lot of dead ships here, or abandoned, so we'll see what happens. So we did quite a bit of recon, and I was correct. So this Taurus was actually doing cargo hauling. It is game rules. So what we're going to do actually is put the golem directly underneath the Taurus. That way if missiles do come in for whatever reason, they hit the Taurus and not me. So we're going to be right here. Offload this cargo. There we go. Perfect. Unfortunately, Pitambu is only sold in 2 SCU containers, but it is very, very valuable. Very valuable fruit. So, yeah. Let's get this offloaded and go sell it. Okay, so if I didn't say it before, Pitambu I purchased for 18k per SCU over at Shepard's Rest. We have 43 SCU here, and we are selling it for 25.7k per SCU. So we are making a total of 7.5k per SCU. To give total numbers, it was 783,000 to purchase the 43 SCU, and then we made a profit, or we sold everything for 1.1 million, and that's around 400k. I think it's a little less than 400k, but still a very good run. Okay, so our next stop is going to be Bueno Ravine. Now, Bueno Ravine is another location that you need to scan and check all your targets, make sure you are safe, because much like Sacren's plot being the one place you can buy Partilium, Bueno Ravine is the only place that you can sell it. So keep that in mind. But we are going to go to Bueno Ravine, and it looks like everything's clear, so we are going to head into the commodities terminal. Okay, so this one might surprise some of you, but this is one of my friends, shout out Rival. This is one of his favorite things to get and throw on your ship. That way you just have poop everywhere. There's poop on everything. But we're going to buy all the Ranta Dung, and it is going to sell quite well. So Ranta Dung at Bueno Ravine sells for about 33k. If Ranta Dung has been a popular commodity this patch so far. So if it is sold out, you also have other options. Cobalt is a really good option that you could sell in Pyro, but it sells better if you take it to Stanton. And you also have Bexalite, which sells really well in both Pyro and Stanton. You would obviously get more ROI if you were to take it over to Stanton, but still quite profitable in Pyro. Okay, so we're not actually going very far with this one. And this is why I love this route and why Ranta Dung is so popular right now. It's because the location you're going to sell it is Shepard's Rest. Now, one thing I wanted to bring up, which I've said in previous Golem videos, is the Golem OX does not have headlights currently. Like, you can turn them on and off, and technically if you were to put the cockpit directly on the ground, you would see headlights, but there is no projection of light past like 1 foot. Like, it's very, very minimal. So just keep that in mind. You're gonna have to scan consistently, no lights. Watch your altimeter and make sure you don't smack into the ground. So we're going to select Sacren's plot. No, Shepard's Rest. What am I thinking? Okay, so Ranta Dung, you can see here, is selling for 37.9k. So almost 38k per SCU. So it does say that we are only selling for 531k. Which just means you aren't able to sell all of it. So the inventory is almost full. So just below our profit price there was how many boxes we were selling. So we still have 16 SCU. We are only able to sell 7 containers. Ranta Dung is currently full, but you can make quite a bit of profit just going from one place to the next. Just with 7 boxes, I made actually more than half of what I paid for that Ranta Dung. So that being said, there are a couple things that I've purchased here. One of them was Carbon Silk. Carbon Silk sells really well just across the verse. The closest place you can sell it is Rat's Nest, but Rat's Nest is kind of filled with Carbon Silk at the moment. So I wouldn't recommend going there to sell that, but it is an option if you are looking for just a replacement overall. Sunset Berries also sell here, so you could pick those up and go sell them at Sacren's plot. Essentially, there's a lot of stuff at Shepard's Rest that you could buy and go sell somewhere else for really, really good profit. But your best ones are going to be Pitambu and Fresh Food. So as of this moment, I am just picking up a couple of different commodities, but for this run, we are going to pick up the Fresh Food. So depending on where you got your Fresh Food from and how really popular it is, the best place to go in Pyro is actually Jackson Swap on Monox. So here we are at Jackson Swap, and we are going to sell our Fresh Food. So I purchased all the Fresh Food at Shepard's Rest, and it cost me a total of 2 million. We are going to sell all 4 of these containers, and this is just 4 containers, and I was able to purchase around 200 SCU. So 64 SCU is getting me 1.26 million. which is fantastic. That is more than half of what I paid for the fresh food in general. And it's out of stock. So I can go back to Bloom, pick up more, and then bring it back here and still make a very, very good profit on this. The downside to coming to Jackson Swap is that there's not a whole lot that you could buy and actually sell in Pyro. So like the comp boards, those sell really, really well in Stanton. RMC sells really, really well in Stanton. And there's not a whole lot of places that you go in Pyro that have a high enough quantity that this 662 that's here, you could actually make it worthwhile. Not to mention the fact that majority of the time these Pyro freight elevators are bugged and you can't actually get the cargo out, much like this. So that first one just wouldn't let me pull any cargo at all. This second one lets me pull out one container at a time. And that's it, which is unfortunate. So if you're buying 600 STU of RMC, you have to struggle with freight elevators that let you pull out 1 or 2 boxes at a time if you're buying them in larger quantities. And then you have this problem here, where your cargo just doesn't show up on the grid. Now this one is kind of easily fixable. You just send the freight elevator back down and then back up. Make sure you stay on the terminal the entire time, at least until you hear the audio cue for the elevator coming up. There is that like transaction loading period between you putting or pressing the button and that audio cue hitting, that you need to stay on the terminal so that way it actually stays on the freight elevator. And you can see here, I'm just staying on here now, but we're going to pull this one over. And because I have one technically on the freight elevator, we're just going to send it back up. Hopefully I don't lose my cargo. But I hear the audio, we look over, and there's my box. So that is one way to fix that. Another way to fix that is actually putting like a smaller item on the freight elevator as well. So put like a water bottle or a weapon that you don't want or something on there, and you should be able to get that fixed. But send the freight elevator back down with that item on it, send it back up with that item on it, and you should be good to go. That being said, these have been my favorite routes to do with CFP locations. And if you have any more recommendations on what you want to do, feel free to join my Discord and hit up the Community Ideas channel or maybe the Hauling Info channel. That is discord.gg/schaulers. Outside of that, if you found this video useful, I would appreciate it if you hit that like button. If you are new to the game because you joined on the free fly and you want more industrial based content on your YouTube feeds, feel free to hit that subscribe button and that notification bell so you know when I come out with a new video. Outside of that, I am now live streaming on Twitch and YouTube at 9 p.m. Pacific time. That is going to be around 5 a.m. UTC and I want to say 4 p.m. and 3 p.m. for AEDT and AEST, the Australia times. So that is when I will be around and live, and that obviously for UK and Australia, that's going to be Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. So keep an eye out for that. I will see y'all then. I am Saxawine with SC Haulers, and we'll see you at the next haul. Love you, bye.